son of a bitch.
That's right. We're back. Back to the usual shenanigans with Phantasy Star Universe Ambition of the Illuminus. So welcome back, everybody, to another episode of that. Episode 3, to be exact, is the one we're chugging along. So we're going to pick up where we left off last time, before last week, because, you know, there was a not double EXP, but 1.5 times EXP for Phantasy Star Online. So I took a week off of this. Let me see, when is the next one going to be? So it's every 4 weeks. So there was that 1, 2, 3. So the next Phantasy Star Online grind should be... Well, not this week, that's 1, that's 2, 3, 4. So June 9th, the week of June 9th. Because today is May 19th. But of course it starts on the Saturday before, so... 8th, 7th, June 7th, I guess, will be the next time we get back to that grind. But for now, let's continue this story where we left off. So yeah, last time when we finished this playlist is a little jank and out of order. It took us to this little video called a subplot. I'm not sure what that is yet, but maybe we'll have some more context when we do the second half of the chapter we were on, which is chapter 3, episode 3, chapter 3, called Will of Light 2. Is the second part, of course. So, chapter 3, Will of Light. This is the second half. And evidently I guess there's something, maybe it's like a decision thing that can happen, excuse me, in this video or something. Where events can maybe play out differently? I'm not sure. But let's watch this and see what happens, and then we'll probably have more context on this subplot thing that we skipped over. Because I skipped over it because as soon as we saw a few seconds of it at the end of the last stream for Phantasy Star Universe, it was it clearly had some like minor spoilers. Like it clearly took place a little at some point in what we're about to watch right now. Like it seemed that way. So yeah, the thing that happened last time was Hugo has been revealed to be that seed form we were fighting. We fought a few times at this point, and he's possessed by the seed, the like hive mind, to try to preserve the seed as well as help it spread. So he's trying to it's sort of being controlled against his will to try to get rid of New Days' like big shield laser defense thing. It's like a giant laser shield, so that the seed can actually land on this planet and start invading it like they have with the other two. Yeah. Almost said 3, then I was like, well, third one would be the colony itself, but you know. See what happens. Mission Will of Light 2 start. Girl Community Research... What? Lab, block 1. Okay. So we're with Lumia and Ethan, and we gotta rescue Karen and the Sisters of the Holy Light. Ethan says, let's keep moving. Hell is this? Can't see shit. Okay, what do you do if you don't have that spell or ability that they just used? The fuck was that about? Is that a book? Are we an FF14 Arcanist now? It's a wand type weapon, as you can see from the bottom right here. But like, literally a book. The little mages with the books. Oh god, we need four keys for the door lock. Ethan got lost. He's like, hey, where's Gators? Oh, he found us. Gators, there you are. Ethan says, something's definitely strange here. Did they let us go on purpose? Lumi says, I don't believe it. Or I don't believe it, like she's shocked. One of those two. So Ethan's putting on his tinfoil hat, which I just realized I forgot mine. I thought I made a habit of it. Alright, let's see. I'm ready for the conspiracy theories now. Go for it, Ethan. Why would they have let us go, you think? What's going on? What's going through your noggin? How do you figure, sport? I know I mentioned this before, but I'm guessing they brought back, like, mags? Traditional mags? I mean, she seems to have one right here. Little thing floating around. Ethan says, I've had just about enough of this. Lumi says, is the divine Karen up ahead? Ethan says, probably. Let's hurry. The hell did I... Be careful, because I pushed spacebar on Streamlabs OBS. I was like, I better not have triggered anything. No, I'm good. Oh shit! File clear, just like that. Right in that room. He says, you could teach me a thing or two. We heard him say that before. Arrived at the LSS power room. Ethan says, alright, let's move. So maybe that subplot thing is before this. Seems so weird and out of place, though. It even had a different character. Like a different player character. So it was clearly filmed on a different time. Oh, wait, no. This is it. Yeah, the subplot video literally starts right here during this scene. Never mind, I was right. We would have spoiled some shit for ourselves. So I guess we have to try and, like, compare what's about to happen right here and how different it is in the other video that we skipped over when we go back to it in a minute. Well, in a minute meaning when we finish this one in like 20 minutes. Lumia says, Ethan, don't go ahead by yourself. It's too dangerous. Ethan says, you guys are too slow. Pick up your feet. Lumia says, you've been acting so strange. You can't just force your way through. You only have one life. Don't die is what she's telling you, Ethan. Like, be fucking careful, dude. Don't be so reckless. You're gonna get yourself killed. Ethan says, Karen is waiting. Lumia says, the things you'll do to save the maiden. Can't you tell he's obviously in love with her? Lumia says, even things that a terrorist would do. Pussy makes a man do strange things. Love makes him do even stranger things. That's the best I could come up with. I was referencing a moment in GTA 4, Ballad of Gay Tony. I think he says, money Yeah, Tony says money makes makes a man do strange things, and he says pussy makes a man do stranger things. And he goes from there. I was trying to do something like that. Lumia says, it's so unlike you. You bastard! Oh shit, he's snapping. Ethan says, that's enough! A rookie like you wouldn't understand. You son of a bitch! He's pissed. Lumia says, hey, quit it! That is your little sister, Ethan. Chill the hell out, man. Oh, he made her cry. Like, quit it. Ethan says, he just realized he fucked up. Dude, you made her cry, you asshole. You suck! Ethan says, don't cry. You're not a kid anymore. Lumia says, I mean, I'm just worried about you is all. Ethan says, I'll admit I was annoyed and sort of lost it there. Lumia doesn't say anything. She's still crying. Ethan says, it's embarrassing. I never thought... Pause, champ. I forgot about the... I'd get so... See? I forgot about the inconsistent timing with the text boxes. He says, I never thought I'd get so worked up just being separated from Karen. Of course, you love her. Lumia's still crying. Doesn't say anything. Ethan says, I didn't care if people called me a traitor or if I was a wanted suspect. I've never felt like this before. Lumia says, Ethan. Ethan says, and I can't just let it go, I think is what he said, but it went insanely fast again. I just can't let things go, is what he actually said. He says, it's a strange feeling to resent every little thing. Lumia says, but isn't it a guardian's job to suppress that? Not as easy to do when you're in love. I know that from personal experience. I'm sure plenty of people do. Ethan says that's exactly right. I've been a terrible brother. It's so wrong. Lumia says, you take on too much by yourself. Sometimes talking about things can make them easier to bear. This is very true. So talk about it. I'm your sister, remember? Ethan says, yeah. Well, I guess I can talk about one thing. News about Dad. Lumia says, what? You've learned something about Father?
Surprise, motherfucker.
Ethan says they told us that Dad died on a Guardian's mission. But the truth is, he survived. I've told you that much, haven't I? Lumia says, is he alive? Ethan says, yeah. He's still locked up in an Illuminus hideout. Does he have actual confirmation of this? They said they'd kill him if I didn't assassinate Obel Dalgun. Who's now already dead anyway. Lumia says, but... you couldn't kill the president. You couldn't kill the president. Ethan says, yeah. He just had to make it look like he tried. He says, but in the end, the Illuminus succeeded at killing him anyway. So here's what I think. Dad was in on it all along. Oh. What? Okay. That's a hell of a... I think he's part of the Illuminus. That's a hell of an accusation, Ethan. Lumia says... What? What? What the fuck? Ethan says, otherwise, why would the Illuminus have left him alive for all this time? And he's still alive even though I failed to assassinate the president. Good deduction, good deductive reasoning, Ethan. Why didn't they go through with killing him after you didn't listen, basically. And even now. He says it'd make sense if Dad was actually working with the Illuminus. Lumia says, I could never believe that. Ethan? The man is our father. Right, Caters? You're asking me to pitch in on a family thing? Between you guys? That's right, yeah. He would never be an asshole, right? Come on. He loved you both. Why would he... Unless he's being coerced? Okay, so yeah, Cater said that's right. Lumia says, if you give up on family, how can you even go on? Believe in him, Ethan. Ethan says, I don't know what to think now. Sometimes I can only see the bad side of things. That happens to the best of us. It depends on your mood and mental state. Lumia says, you can talk about anything with me, Ethan. I'll show you the bright side. Aww. She's smiling too. Ethan says, thanks, Lumia. Lumia's a good girl. She's got a good heart on it. A good heart. I almost said a good heart on her shoulders. No. It's like I was trying to say a good head on her shoulders. But then I was going to heart and then I got like it mixed up. I got it mixed up, you know? She's got a big heart, is what I meant to say. Ethan says, Caters? I mean, I feel a little better now. He's saying thanks to both, basically. Thanks, Lumia. Caters, you know? Feel a little better now. Lumia says, sorry, Caters. And Watt's like a family squabble. Didn't mean to drag you into this. Yeah, that's alright. What'd I do? See? It's all good.
You son of a...
Ethan says, Lumia, I hope that someday you'll understand. The desire to protect those you care about. I think she already gets it. Lumia says, protect those you care about. I think I know what he's getting at, though. Ethan says, maybe I've said too much. Well, let's go. Come out and say it, man. You're in love with Karen. Tell us. Alright, what do we got? What's going on? Lumia says, are we in the right place? Ethan says, it's that room, probably. Probably. Longest pause ever. Karen and the others should be powering it from in there. Some disembodied voice says, powering it is such an ugly way to put it. Is it Rutsu? Jesus, the long ass pause, dude. This dude went AFK. Yeah, I nailed it. It's him. What? Shit! He's ready for a fight! Switched out of his robes, man. He's like, alright, I'm gonna kick some ass. He says, the Divine Maiden as well as the Sisters of the Holy Light. They're having visions in that room. They're having visions in that room. Is that what you call it? Ethan says, Rutsu!
Surprise, motherfucker!
Lumia says, Light Master Rutsu. Rutsu says, Mr. Weber. Like, I've hated your ass since day one, basically. How much of our work do you have to disturb until you're satisfied? Ethan says, how much suffering do you have to cause the maiden and the others? Champ. Until you're happy.
You son of a...
Rutsu says, you need to realize that you are the ones who are causing them to... Champ. Suffer by interrupting their most holiest of duties. That's what he calls it. Ethan says there's no point in talking to you. Bring Karen out here. Rutsu says I would never bring the Divine Maiden to see a terrorist who'd destroy the LSS. Ethan says that wasn't me!
You bastard! Oh, shit!
Rutsu says I grow weary of your lies, Mr. Weber. What are you gonna do, chump? You wanna fight? He says, I've put up with you this long because you were acquainted with the Divine Maiden, but I cannot do so any longer. Leave here at once. Or else what, chump? If you do not, then I will have to remove you by force. Ethan says, your true colors are starting to show, Rutsu. What are you plotting? Rutsu says, plotting? It's now the Communion's job to restore peace and order to Garal. By hiding on this planet with a barrier? He says if anyone gets in the way of that goal, then I have no qualms about showing them the blade of my sword. You have a sword? Ethan says if that's your goal, then why don't you cooperate with the Guardians? Rutsu says the only hope this world has lies in the power of the Divine Maiden. And the Communion of Garal must harness that power to operate the LSS. There is no one else. Because we control absolute power, we can administer justice, as agents of the Holy Light. The fact that New Days was the only planet to survive the seed threat is evidence of that. Therefore, the rebirth of this world should have New Days and the Communion of Garal at its center. They're taking the opportunity. This is a power play now. You're taking this opportunity to take over the world essentially and rebuild it in your own image. Saying it's like the like the will of God because look, we survived and you guys didn't. He says the world cannot be trusted to the likes of the Guardians. The Divine Maiden herself understands this, and has left the Guardians for the Communion of Garal. You should understand, Mr. Weber. Ethan says, no. That's not why Karen became the Maiden. If that's how she truly felt... champ. Why would you need to force her to sacrifice herself for the LSS? Yeah, true. She would be doing it willingly if she actually believed in the same vision as you. Rutsu pauses for a second and says, it would appear that you misunderstand. The Divine Maiden has not woken. Ethan says, huh? Rutsu says, 3 months ago, the day the seed attacked once again. Wait, what? She's been She did not listen to my attempts to stop her. She entered the new LSS while it was still under development. New Days escaped damage, but the Divine Maiden will not awake from within the machine. Ethan says, what? And we had no idea what was going on here. Rutsu says she is constantly providing photon energy. But that energy is clearly weakening. She willingly sacrifices herself to save New Days. Every single member of the communion understands it's her will. I asked the Sisters of the Holy Light for their help to preserve the system. They consented. Ethan says, Karen values the lives of others above all else. You think she wants that? Rutsu says, what would a miscreant like you know of people's desires?
You suck!
Ethan says, you're the miscreant!
You bastard!
Music stopped. It's about to get real. There's a pause champ is over. Oh, we can say either wake up Rutsu or fight Rutsu with Ethan. I mean, we should do the right thing and try to reason with him, even though we obviously know he's not going to come around. We know where this is going no matter what, right? Wake up, Rutsu. Stop being a fool. Yeah, like that. Rutsu says, you're quite the miscreant, too. Oh, hell no, he didn't just call us that.
You son of a...
He's talking shit about all of us. Ethan says, you're thinking only about saving the communion. But Karen wouldn't want that. Long ass pause champ. For all will only see peace when all four races work together. Tell him, Ethan. He says, nonsense!
Oh, shit!
Ethan says, if you claim justice from power, then we'll defeat you and prove that you're wrong.
You son of a...
Rutsu says, Ethan Weber. And your miscreant partner caters. Besides the LSS, we have developed something else. Have a look. Behold! Alteraz Gaug! If that's how you fucking pronounce it.
He's pulling his cock out!
No, I was close though. It flies, but it's definitely not a chicken. It's a fucking double-headed dragon.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Ethan says, this should be no sweat. Lumi says, we're gonna fight it? Yeah, we're gonna two-shot it and kill it before you even finish your opening lines. Look at Ethan says, Lumia, you be careful. They had so much more to say. Caters, let's do this.
You son of a bitch.
But, you know, it's already done, Ethan. The battle's over. We're over-leveled as fuck. It makes you wonder what... Oh, he's scared now. It makes you wonder why other enemies sometimes survive a little bit longer. Rutsu says, unbelievable. Communion's power. My justice. To think it could be defeated. That's really all you had? Ethan says, now free the maiden and the sisters.
You son of a...
We'll fuck you up too. Rutsu says you'll have to kill me first. Ethan says, hey, we aren't terrorists. What will we gain from killing you? Rutsu says, just do it. Quickly. You still don't understand? Some disembodied voice. Holy shit. Karen? But she's supposed to be... Ethan says Karen. Lumia says Maiden? Rutsu says Maiden. You've woken up?
Surprise, motherfucker.
Apparently. Karen says, even while sleeping within the LSS, I was aware of what was going on outside. And I waited, Light Master Rutsu. I waited until you would understand. Rutsu says nothing. Karen says, as you said, I did not hesitate to sacrifice myself for the LSS. However, I didn't intend for the people outside the Communion and New Days to be ignored. Rutsu says, Maiden. Yeah, you're getting told, fool. Karen says, not just you, but many of the followers on New Days. You all believe that just because you're blessed with photon energy... Oh, they slowed it down. Your righteousness is absolute. You look down on those with differing beliefs or those who live their lives differently. That happens all too commonly. See, time and time again. Karen says, as someone raised outside the Communion and not blessed with... photon energy, I've come to understand something. Still paused. Since I was placed at the... Holy shit, that was fast. I was placed at the head of... No, the center of the Communion. The Communion. You want to know what that is? The Communion's power is not absolute. Hugo's about to prove that while we're bickering here. There has never been such a thing as absolute power. Rutsu says nothing. Karen says, it's been explained to you many times, but should I say it once more? Dude, he is fucking telling his ass off. Holy shit, Zodiac! Did you just come in? I just barely looked over. I've been so engaged in this story. Hey Leon, it's been a while. Schedules have been interfering. Oh, no problem, Zodiac. It's good to hear from you again. I don't know if you just posted that or if that was a while ago and I just didn't see it because I was like so into this goddamn story. But welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for stopping by. And yeah, like I said, no problem. Yeah, this is how it goes. But that's why I keep all my VODs. So like if anybody ever feels like, you know, shit, I'm falling behind or something, always welcome to watch the recording. But yeah, thank you very much for stopping by. It has been a while, and I hope you've been well. Hope you've been doing well. I see Karen says, it's been explained to you many times, but should I say it once more? In order to restore peace to the Graal system, it's going to take the cooperation of all races and organizations. Yeah? Tell him. Tell him, Karen. He says the Communion, the Guardians, the Alliance military, the Rogues. It will only happen when everyone comes together. Now that you know defeat, you should be able to understand this fact. Now is the time for all Graal citizens to come together as one. Richard pauses, still silent, hasn't said anything. Ethan says, Karen saw the seeds attack in a vision and wanted to warn everyone. But you concealed it to avoid worldwide panic. He's describing the very, very beginning of Ambition of the Illuminus. That was the opening cutscene, was Karen talking about it. Ethan says, Karen asked me how to change your way of thinking. I've broken in here many times so we could talk. Rutsu says nothing. He's saying he's broken in here many times so that he could talk secretly with Karen. Lumia also says nothing. He's contemplative. Ethan says, I also helped her investigate the experimentation you were doing on the Sisters of the Holy Light. At one point, I couldn't stand it anymore. Doing well, just got here like 5 to 10 minutes ago. That's good to hear. Like, so many times I just get so engrossed in what I'm doing, and because my chat's really not that active yet, I don't have that habit of making sure I'm always looking over. So, so I'm really sorry that I didn't actually notice you for that long. But I appreciate you stopping by, Zodiac. Thank you very much. It has been a while. Okay, so Ethan says, at one point I couldn't stand it anymore and tried to take Karen away from the communion. That was like I think that was the very first mission. Or the very first or second mission that we did when we were still a trainee with, oh god, I forgot her name. Laya. We fought against Ethan, and he was even with, Lena, I think is her name. And they were trying to kidnap Karen, who was obviously in disguise again. So that's what he's referencing. And all of this feels like it was a lifetime ago, because it was. Ethan says, but Karen returned to the communion of her own free will. I heard you claimed you were waiting until the completion of the new LSS to make it and the seed attack public. You probably thought you had Karen falling for it. But Karen knew everything and said nothing. She believed you and the communion would change. Why do I have such a hard time saying communion? I always kind of like trip over the U part. Ethan says, and she endured. Don't you get it yet? That thigh window, though. He says, as we've been fighting this pointless battle, the Illuminus, no, the Seed are decimating the entire Goral system. Ruchu says nothing. He says, I've realized my foolishness. I failed to understand the Divine Maiden. I cannot continue bearing the title of Lightmaster. Rutsu. Is that Karen talking or somebody else? Okay, it was Karen. She says, you should not abandon your position now. Either agree with the maiden or don't forgive him. If he's genuinely, like, finally seeing some sense after all this, I think we give him another chance. We better keep an eye on him, though, because dude's willing to do some shady shit. I'm just saying, alright? Keep an eye on his ass. But yeah, sure. I mean, I think he's coming around. Karen says, thank you, Caters. I felt the power of your strength and of your heart from the... Lost champ? From the time our paths first crossed. Back then we were, we used the Phantasia. She doesn't look like a Karen. She doesn't act like one either. I mean, she can when she wants to, but like only for a good cause. And even then, she's always very tempered, Karen. She's definitely the exception to the rule of the name, isn't she, Zodiac? Oh yeah, but I was saying, she says, I felt the power of the strength of your heart from the time our paths first crossed. But back when we first, you know, our paths first crossed, we were a different character back then. We were, the hell was his name? Oh god, how did I forget it? Lacry. We were Lacry, that's right. I was trying to remember. We were Lacry, and then we used the FF14 Phantasia and we turned into Gators for the second half of this story. Oh shit, they left it on fast forward too fast, man, come on. Karen says, if you change, Rutsu, then it won't be long before the citizens of New Days change as well. Then you and I can work together to seek everyone's cooperation. This is a critical time. Choose wisely, Lightmaster Rutsu. Rutsu pauses and says nothing. He's deep in thought. He bows his head and says, thank you, Divine Maiden. I do not deserve your mercy. I added that.
son of a bitch.
Came around. We didn't have to kill him. Laya's calling in on the intercoms. She says, Hugo did that? Oh, we filled her in on everything. Lumi says, yes. Laya says, damn it. I shouldn't have made him go. Ethan says, it's not your fault. Caters can explain it to you later. Yeah, we're kind of in a hurry, actually. And one more thing. This time it's good news. Here. Rutu pauses. He says, Miss Martinez. I says, Lightmaster Rutsu? Is he gonna apologize to her too? He pauses and says, yes. The communion of Goral. Will provide the basic technology behind the LSS to the Guardians and the other planets. And we vow to stand with you against the Seed and the Illuminus. Dude, we're slowly uniting the whole world, man. All 3 planets. We're doing it. Laya says, I'm thankful for your wise decision. What did Karen just give us? You won't regret it. Almost didn't read that. Almost didn't catch it. Karen says, we need every planet to agree to full cooperation with the Guardians. Oh, I see. We were handing Karen our little, Link Pearl equivalent. The fucking, intercom thing. Our little radio communication device. Laya says, yeah, leave it to us. Look at her. Being the president her father would be proud of. Karen says, actually, in a recent vision... Guardians in all caps? Yeah, that's just kind of, that's their, like... I don't know. I don't know why they write it like that, but that's what they're called. This is Guardians with all caps, yeah. I never really questioned until just now. Okay, so Karen says, actually in a recent vision, I learned that another unification point is... Wait, what? Another unification point? Another unification point is approaching. Laya says, what'd you say? We're just gonna repeat the same trick from the end of the first half of the game? The first episode? To just get rid of the seed again? Ethan says, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, how... They said the planets only align once every... Okay, here we go. Ethan's about to say it. Ethan says, wasn't the unification point something that only happens once... Pause, yeah. Every few hundred years? Yeah, it's only been 3 months. Well, actually, no. Hold on, sorry. It's at this point, it's been 6. 3 months before the seed destroyed everything. And then... It was another 3 months since the end of episode 1, the previous unification point. So it's been 6. Laya says, it's the dark planet, isn't it? Yeah, there you go, Zodiac. It's like Soldier in FF7, exactly. It's like you don't know why they put it in all caps. It just kind of lets you know that it's the title of something, but then it's just kind of like, okay, but why is it in all caps, right? I always wondered that as a kid. Like, when I played FF7 as a kid, I would legit think they were just, like, yelling the word soldier. Because, like, that was part of how you had to say it or something. I didn't get it, man. Karen says, I couldn't see its true shape, but I did see a new planet. Laya says, we've only recently discovered it ourselves. A planet releasing seed and infecting the sun. Yeah, it's near the sun, that's right. Ethan says, seed? The planet is a hive? And as a whole planet. Laya says, I've had Professor Tom Rain form an investigation team. According to an old record he found, the planet is called Rikros. The button didn't work the first time. Or I just didn't push it well enough, I don't know. Okay, so I only know what the hell that's a reference to because I've become friends with people that are much bigger enthusiasts of the Phantasy Star universe. And I'm not referring to this game when I say that. I mean the universe of, like, as in all the games that exist. In recent times, I've become friends with, ever since I started streaming the Phantasy Star series, I became friends with people that are, like, hardcore fans of this whole series. I should have said it that way. The Phantasy Star series. And I've learned a few things, some lore from games that I never intend to play, like Phantasy Star 1 through 4. Also, unfortunately, spoiler lore, including very recently, about games that are actually a sequel to this, which is why I said unfortunately, because it's like somebody kind of just low-key spoiled a bunch of shit about some of the games that happen after this, which I was debating whether or not to watch or play after this game. But in that, I digress. In that, what I've learned, Rikros is the name of a main character in one of the original Phantasy Star games from way back in the day, like the 80s and early 90s. Phantasy Star 1 through 4. I don't remember which one. I think it's Phantasy Star 4. It could be a recurring character. I don't know if those 4 games are actually directly connected to each other. And now there may even be a connection between those games and these games now. Even though there wasn't any with Phantasy Star Online, but this game obviously takes place in a different universe, or maybe it's just a different corner of the galaxy, I don't know. I don't want to know. I'm trying to avoid spoilers, but somehow I keep running into them. It happens. Like, when you're streaming, that's gonna happen. Like, you have to take it with a grain of salt. If you're streaming something for the first time, and you're playing, like, a series that's also kind of old, like, people are just gonna talk about... They're just gonna assume, because it's old, that most people already know what's up. So they're just gonna talk about it, so, like, you know, it's bound to happen. It is what it is. It reminds me that FF14 is definitely a surprisingly very good at not doing that. Like, even in passing, a lot of that community is very good at just not spoiling things, even by accident. It's actually quite shocking, considering the size of the community, that so many people have actually silently agreed to not do that. Well, it's not a silent agreement, it's pretty, you know, vocal, but still. I'm actually quite shocked, because you really don't see that anywhere else. That's a whole other topic altogether, but yeah. So yeah, Rikros is the name of a main character in one of the older Phantasy Star series, and now they're using the name for this planet. Whether there's a connection or not, I don't know. That was a long-winded way of just saying that I recognize that name. Thanks to that. Laya says, Caters, I'm gonna need your help in the investigation. Karen says, then we'll wait for that report. Be careful, Caters. We gotta do some recon. Lumia says, Rikros. Ethan says nothing. We're just silently contemplating. Alright, chapter over. It says, the infiltration of the Communion of Goral ended in the Communion agreeing to share their LSS technology and to join in the fight. But the seed menace grows. The newly discovered gigantic hive, the dark planet Rikros, threatens the entire Goral system. Mission Will of Light 2 end. And that's it for that chapter. Right on, let's see what that subplot thing is. Is it like the conversation can play out differently between Lumia and Ethan? I'm guessing. Okay, I was wondering if they were going to say anything or do something. Let's see. I'm guessing it's a different conversation, but what does this depend on? In an attempt to preserve Phantasy Star Universe, we present you this. So yeah, I'm guessing these videos were filmed probably after they announced they were shutting down the servers, and then this channel we're watching, with a bunch of players obviously collaborating together, decided to make a final attempt at recording the story for especially the online exclusive portion of the story that we're watching now. That has disappeared forever now since the server shut down. They made a cooperative attempt to try to preserve it as well as they could, recording the story with the best technology they had at the time. This is the late 2000s, so, you know, if the video quality isn't that great, that's why. So this is 2013. Assuming they uploaded these videos close to when they recorded them, that means the servers shut down in the early 2010s. Alright, so let's see how this plays out. It's only a 5-minute video, so I doubt it's going to be... Unless they make the text run really fast. Okay, so Lumia says, Ethan, don't go ahead by yourself. It's too dangerous. So far, it's about the same. I wonder what our new main character's name here is. Ethan says, you guys are too slow. Pick up your feet. Just like last time. Lumia says, you've been acting so strange. You can't just force your way through. Same combo so far. You only have one life. Ethan says Karen is waiting. Lumia says the things you'll do to save the maiden. So far it's the same conversation. Even things that a terrorist would do. That's so unlike you. It's enough. A rookie like you wouldn't understand. He says, hey, quit it. Breaks down crying. Because he's just hella yelled at her for no reason. Asshole. Ethan says, aw, just like last time. He regrets it. Says, don't cry, you're not a kid anymore. Lumia says, I mean, I'm just worried about you is all. Still the same. Ethan admits he was annoyed, sort of lost it, just like last time. It's embarrassing, I never thought I'd get so worked up just being separated from Karen. Didn't care if people called me a traitor, if I was a wanted suspect. Never felt like this before. I wonder if there is actually going to be anything different, or if this is just like a random clip that they just accidentally threw into the playlist. The playlist is a bit sloppy, so... He says, I just can't let things go. It's a strange feeling. I resent every little thing. He says, but isn't it a guardian's job to suppress that? Ethan says that's exactly right. And a terrible brother? So wrong. Amy says you take on too much by yourself. Sometimes talking about things can make them easier to bear. But talk about it. I'm your sister, remember? Ethan says, yeah. Well, I guess I can talk about one thing. And then here comes the part about his dad. News about dad. Says, what? You've learned something about father? Told us that dad died on the Guardian's mission, but he survived. Told you that much, haven't I? He alive? Says, yeah. Still locked up in an Illuminus hideout? But they'd kill him if I didn't assassinate a Bell doll gun. I feel like this is just a random clip they put in. I don't think it's gonna change. Like, so far it's the same conversation. Still saying the same thing as before. Yeah, same argument. Tyreek!
Dylan! You son
That's
of
our
a
new character's
bitch.
name. Dude, it's the same shit. I think this is just like some weird random clip they just threw in. But the thing is, this playlist has a bunch of them. Like, I scrolled down a little, I saw a bunch of like clips titled, you know, like subplot this or that. I guess we can safely skip over them. It's not like it's showing an alternative conversation. Hmm. That was literally the exact same. Yeah, there was nothing new there. That was very odd. What the hell are those videos for then? Yeah, I saw a bunch like that said, subplot this or that. Very strange. Yeah, it was literally just the same thing we saw before already. Alright, well, whatever. We didn't have enough time to do the next, the first half of the next chapter anyway. So, I guess that killed a little bit of extra time for the stream. But, that was very confusing. Also, it might not be this I have two playlists for episode 3. It might be the other one where I saw a bunch of, like, subplot videos, because this one only has this one, yeah. Alright, so I guess that's the only time we're gonna be confused by something like that. Cool. It was just a little minor troll. Alright, then we'll just wrap it up there. So, as always, thank y'all very much for watching. I appreciate the support across Twitch and YouTube, wherever you decide to watch. I appreciate it very much. And, Zodiac, special shout out to you. Thank you for... It's been a long time since I've seen you, so thank you for coming by to say hi. It is unfortunate that I know you probably don't stream, but this is my way of saying thanks with the little shout out. But I am always happy to see you, so I'm glad you found some time to stop by and say hello. So thank you very much. And to everyone else watching on Twitch and YouTube, like I said, thank you very much. Please do take care of yourselves. Stay safe out there. Don't die. All that good stuff. And until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, and good night. And remember, we choose to fight.
We will choose to fight.
I missed a word. It was meant to be, we will choose to fight, but fuck it.